growth occurs kind of outside of your comfort zone. This is a very common principle among sort of growth mindset or just improving yourself. And this is true across all facets of life. It's not just athletics. If you want to get faster at running, you need to push yourself to a pace that's uncomfortable. That might be painful. You might be very sore the next day. That's something that you're not always going to want to do, because the human brain, as you mentioned just a few minutes ago, and we'll continue to talk about this, tends to be the limiting factor. Our bodies are capable of doing incredible things, and it's oftentimes the brain that first says, no, we really probably shouldn't do that, or this is going to be uncomfortable. And that oftentimes deters many people from pursuing things that are really, when it gets down to it, like uncomfortable. But that's how you get better. That's how you get faster. That's how you run a longer race. If we're just strictly talking about athletics here.
Right. Definitely. Yeah, I think it's important to understand the difference between mind and body. They're completely separate from one another. And I think a lot of people get it mixed up that it's all blended and it's all one together, or all just one as is. And I've come to really understand that it's essentially emotion versus action. Your emotions will get up early. If you need to get up early in the morning, it's cold outside, it's dark outside, the bed is warm, it's nice, an extra hour of sleep sounds really good in the moment, and getting up is the last thing you want to do. And that is emotion telling you, stay in bed for a little longer. There's no need to go out. Why put yourself in an uncomfortable situation like that? Where the body kicks in is, you need to do what you need to do. And oftentimes it's not comfortable. And oftentimes you experience discomfort. But really the equation, the way I see it, is discomfort equals growth. And that is the only way to keep moving forward and just achieve whatever it is you need to do, because you really need to fight that battle of emotion versus action. And I think on a repetitive basis, if you continue to choose the hard right over the easy wrong, you continue to not let emotion take over and distract whatever the focus is in the moment, you just become accustomed to that. And it really gets to a point where you don't think twice about it.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting that you bring up that point, because I just went for a run myself this morning. I ran a 5K, and I was thinking to myself as I was running often clears my head, as it probably does for you as well. I was thinking to myself, because I'm very much in the camp of growth mindset and do things that are hard or challenging or uncomfortable, because you will experience growth, which is funny because a lot of people shy away from those things because they don't like the feeling of being uncomfortable. And so those are often the people that sort of remain stagnant or don't grow. I was running this morning and I was thinking to myself, like, the things that are the hardest to do in life are the things that are the most worth doing. And the things that are the easiest to do in life are the least worth doing. Like, you're going to feel less accomplished and you're going to get less out of it, whether it's financially, whether it's emotional takeaway, whether it's succeeding at the highest level of anything. And there's obviously a limit to that, because like, I'm not going to tell you to just go out and run like 500 miles right now. There is a limit to like performing outside of your comfort zone. You need to be in a band of difficult but still achievable. Otherwise, it is really a deterring factor from actually accomplishing anything. And it can be difficult to kind of find that band where you need to operate in. But to your point, I was just thinking that same exact thought to myself this morning. Like, the more challenging something is, the more worthwhile it is to do it.
Absolutely. Always. Yeah. And I've really come to understand the importance of that as well, just throughout my athletic journey. Because just like everyone else, you face that, the thoughts in your heads of the thought in your head of, this is too hard, or I don't want to do it, or I don't want to feel this discomfort right now because I know this is going to be uncomfortable. And it is always just the fight of emotion versus action. Because if you let your mind take over, and one day, and then you let it take over the next day, and the next day it becomes a habit to the point where you are always letting emotion dictate whatever it is that you do and drive your actions and drive your life. But if you take a step back and understand the separation of, my mind is telling me one thing, but I know I need to do this other thing, and most of the times that other thing is, comfort versus discomfort. If you just continue to choose the discomfort, which again is growth, over time on a repeated basis, it just becomes habit that way. So you can really just choose the hard right over the easy wrong day in, day out with any choice. And it to big decisions and small decisions, it really just plays out every day in your life, and it's just which one are you going to choose?
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. And another thought that is popping up in my head right now as you say that is, because I've been doing the same thing for many years as well, with choosing the path of more resistance, because I understand that I'm going to get more out of it.